Hello everyone. Today is Rosh Hashanah, which is New Year's for the Jewish people. And last year, for the high holidays, I made an apple honey cake, which came out really good. And so today I'll be sharing how you can make that, because it's very popular to have apples and honey during the high holidays, but I prefer it in a cake. Makes it a little bit more special. So what you will need is cinnamon. You will need 2 cups of sugar. 1 cup of sugar. Apologize for that. 1 cup of sugar. Tea. It could be any type. I chose the vanilla type of tea. Your honey. Vinegar and baking powder. You see, instead of eggs, you replace your eggs with vinegar and baking soda. But you could use an egg instead. So instead of baking soda with vinegar, you can use an egg. Then you have your canola oil. Your cut into little pieces apples. By the way, you can peel the apples if you want. Don't forget to wash them. 2 cups of flour. Your liquor. It can be brandy or it can be this, El Pisco de Chile. So I chose to use that. What else? Okay, and you preheat your oven for 400, and you will leave it in for about 30 to 35 minutes. Then you poke, you put a little knife through and see if it's cooked inside, and if it isn't, you leave it about 10 to 15 more minutes. Don't worry, the recipe will be in English and Spanish, so that you know. Okay, we start off with the flour. Then your replacements for your egg, you put in your baking soda and your vinegar. Cinnamon. This is about 3 tablespoons of cinnamon. That is vinegar. That was about 1 tablespoon and 1 tablespoon of baking soda. Of baking powder. You put less than a tablespoon of baking soda in there too, just like that. And your fresh tea. Doesn't have to be warm, but it has to be pretty tea. All that in. Okay. So this is a very special treat that I made last year for the high holidays, and I know you are going to enjoy it because I totally did. Then you will need your sugar. You can use actually 2 cups of that. I prefer less sugar, so I used 1 cup of that. You can use 1 cup of honey. I used 1/2 cup of honey instead. So all that honey goes in there. Today is actually about an hour or 2. It will be the eve of Rosh Hashanah, so pretty good timing to start making your cake. Then you have your oil, canola oil, and you put it in there. Then you start stirring. It smells good. Very, very festive cake. I actually learned it from a lady who was married to a rabbi. Well, is married to a rabbi. So she makes it a little bit different, but I put my own little touch to it. No harm in that. Now, you put in your apples. You can make them smaller chunks. Put them just like that. Stir that in very well so it gets mixed into the dough. And now you put in your liquor. Yes, you put the whole thing in there. They said a cup of liquor. I just thought that was too much, so I put in less than a cup of liquor. And yes, it gets a little harder to stir because the apples are kind of in the way. But I said you can use that or you can use brandy. I use that, but the original recipe has only brandy, so keep that in mind. Brandy is the substitute for that liquor I just used. Don't worry, I will add the recipe in English and Spanish. Para los que hablan español, les voy a decir la receta. Tú tienes un poco de cinnamon. Para reemplazar los huevos, usas una cucharita grande de vinagre con una cuchara de baking soda, de baking powder. También usas tu baking soda. Tú usas tu azúcar, que es por ahí un vaso o 2 vasos de azúcar, prefiero yo un vaso. Tu té, puede ser cualquier té, yo usé té de vanilla. Tu canola oil. Y también tú puedes usar brandy o que es el pisco de chili. ¿Cuál es el licor que yo usé? Dice en la receta que es un vaso, pero yo usé mitad de un vaso de licor. Tú cortas unas manzanitas bien cortadas. Recomiendo que los hagan más chiquitos que yo los hice. Y mezclas todo así. Y no se preocupen, la receta también va a estar en español escrito, incluido con el video, como estará en inglés. Tú calientas tu horno por 400 y los dejas por ahí unos 30-35 minutos. Después de 30-35 minutos lo dejas, si no está todavía listo, unos otros 20-25 minutos. Y devuelves eso. That way you both, English and Spanish speakers, can understand what I am doing. Para los hispanos, sepan que hoy es Rosh Hashanah, es el día de Año Nuevo para los judeos. Y el año pasado yo para celebrar Rosh Hashanah hice este pastel cuando me lo enseñó la esposa de un rabbi. Ella lo hace un poco más diferente, pero es por ahí la misma receta. Entonces di un toque de propio mío. Okay. Ahora que está bien de vuelta, now you will place this in here. And you will see how it starts to look. Pretty festive, delicious cake. You can make it whenever you want. I'm just making it for the holiday. This is your apple and honey cake. Make sure you get as much of it in there. Okay. Now that the oven has beeped and it's at 400, place your cake, which you see, it looks just like that. For about cook time will be about 35 minutes. 30 to 35, so I'll put it 35. Okay, there you go. You leave it in there. Now that it has beeped, you go in. Check out. Be very, very careful. It's very hot. see it's not ready. So you will put it another 25 minutes in the oven. Put it back in, but you can see how it's starting to look. It goes in there. Preheat for 400. And you put it another 25. There. Now that 25 minutes have passed, go back to it. If it's still not ready, you leave it in a little bit longer. Careful because it's very hot. Grab. Having a little problem here. Doesn't want to come out. Alright, that's there. You can see it's perfect. Now, what you do is another butter. Make sure the edges are off, because what I'm going to do is try to take it out of the pan. What you do is let it cool before you do what I'm doing. And don't do what I'm doing until it's cool. Come out. Well, you can see part of it just fell apart. No big deal. What you do is put it back together again. If that happens to you, it's because you didn't let it cool long enough, but I just don't have the patience to do that right now. The faster we get it done, the better. No worries. See, if it's not cool, very easy. You just place it back, oops, a little bit hot there, back together again. Okay? Now, do this. Ta-da! See, you let it cool so it won't separate like it just did. But I don't let things wait. Okay. So there you have it. Show you how it looks. Just cut you a slice right now. See? It's supposed to come out. That's why you let things cool. There you go. Now, you can see, I'm going to give it a little try. You can see that I do taste my food after it's done. Let's get an apple in there. See, little apples in there, little bread, little cake, I mean. It is so good. Oh, heaven. Okay. So all that is left to say is, Rosh Hashanah.